This is an ABC color presentation.
Hey, Vern. Whew, it sure is hot up here, Vern. I bet you'd like a cold, smooth mellow yellow right now, wouldn't you? Yeah, I just bet you would. You know, Vern, there's nothing like a good old cold mellow yellow when you're all hot and sweaty. I think it sure beats that Mountain Dew. You know what that sound means in Russia, Vern? Empty. Vern!
The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
Coming soon to NBC, the biggest stars in blockbuster movies and an out-of-this-world series. The battle has been won, but the war is about to begin. The visitors return, and nothing's going to stop them. Prepare for the series. Diana's back to settle her score with Donovan and the world. This time, she's mad.
How perceptive.
Diana has special plans for Donovan to possess him, body and soul. Diana has another target, Elizabeth. But the star child is about to undergo a metamorphosis, which will startle the universe.
Whatever this process is she's going through, we have to let it run its course.
Will she become one of them? All the suspense, all the action, all the romance of the miniseries.
Charming idea.
The visitors are back, and they're here to stay. Don't miss the premiere of the series. Born to save lives.
God bless you, Doc. You're one in a million.
He was a loving father, husband.
If I ever have...
Hey, you're up kind of late, ain't you? What time is it?
It's comic book time!
Gotta do this right. Yes. Hey, it's Chance Bartels of the Nostalgic Podblast. I just decided to do an impromptu comic book show and tell of the Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider Marvel Comics Volume 2. I'm going to show you every cover. There's only 81 covers in that Volume 2 series. I just decided to do the heck of it. I didn't do an actual podblast this week. Going to go back to going weekly later. But I want to see who's out there, if anyone at all. So it's time to activate the magic.
You have a good day today, friends.
Yeah.
I did. Wait.
I had a Superman day.
You had a Superman day. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Spider-Man day.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Well, you know what? Wait. You know what time it is? It's time for me to see the friends at home in the magic mirror. Romper bumper, stomper boo, tell me do. Magic mirror, tell me today, did all my friends have fun at play? All my friends had fun today. I see David's having a special day today, and Olivia Joy had a special day on Sunday, and I see Robin had a special day yesterday, and Dana's having a special day today, and so is Reginald and Edward John and Margaret, and I see Justin and Megan and Courtney and Brick and Mark and Rachel and Sheila and Caroline are all having special days, and Cicely and Ashley and Matthew and Jose, and I see Bon.
And I see BK, I see Keebler, I see Skeleton, I see Fat Comic Book Guy. My reverb is still on. Hey to you, hey to BK. Hey to Danny Staten in South Carolina. Yes, I am up late. I got a little wound up on Pepsi, and I thought, I just can't not do some sort of a live stream on Friday. It's not a Friday night. Of course, it's Saturday morning on the East Coast, but out west where My Flock is Everywhere is, and Chrissy, Brainbender's Banter is, and Corey's Comedy Channel is in Vegas. It's still Friday night, so what the heck? I'm only going to go about 45 minutes. I have to get up early. So, yeah, I am up late, Danny Staten. Let's get started with some history. I took some photos of just the first 5 issues of Ghost Rider Volume 2 because there's always a glare when I hold up the covers like I'm going to do tonight, and the artwork is just so beautiful in these issues. But really quickly, I want to talk about some history of the character of Ghost Rider. There's been many characters named Ghost Rider. Johnny Blaze was not the first. There was a Western Ghost Rider. I didn't have time to take a photo. Let me just quickly grab one of those covers to show you this cool character, the Western Ghost Rider. And he goes back to the 1940s. But Marvel brought him back. Let me get my monitor so I can make sure this is in frame. Here's just one copy. It didn't last very long. There's the Western Ghost Rider. Look, he was really cool. He rode this horse like the Lone Ranger. And he had a cool mask. And he wound up being part of the West Coast Avengers in the 1980s. But Marvel resurrected this version of the Ghost Rider. But no, a comic book that was titled Marvel Spotlight introduced Johnny Blaze, which is a flaming skull character in 1972 in issue number 5 of that book, which I have in my collection. But really quickly, Ghost Rider, the Johnny Blaze version who rides a motorcycle, appeared in Marvel Comics. And like I said, he's the second Marvel character to use the name Ghost Rider, following Carter Slade, the Western Ghost Rider, also known as the Phantom Rider, and preceded other versions as well. But I love the Western Ghost Rider that I showed you a random cover of, issue 5 in my collection from 1967. Now, the Johnny Blaze story. Now, this is the story you saw on the big screen back in, I think it was 07. And I liked that movie. You had Sam Elliott in there as the groundskeeper of the graveyard, a banquet bear. I just love his voice. That's a terrible impression of him. He used to voice some Coors beer spots. And you knew it was Sam Elliott with that great voice of his. He's a banquet bear. But Nicolas Cage played the Ghost Rider, and I thought he did a really good job. Eva Mendes was in that movie. I never saw the sequel. There was a sequel. I never saw it, but I did see, I think 3 times in the theater, the 07 Ghost Rider movie. If I'm wrong, someone correct me. It was either 06 or 07 when the movie was released. And that's the character we're talking about, if you're familiar with the movie, the Ghost Rider. So, let's just quickly talk about the publication history. All right, so Marvel Spotlight 5 had a cover date of August of 1972. Darn it, and I meant to pull that up. I'm going to look at one of my favorite websites because it tells the actual street date of when each comic book in Marvel Comics history was released to the public. That means when it was on newsstands, when it was on comic book spinner racks, which are those metal racks that would spin around at a 7-Eleven convenience store. Or even at some grocery stores, you could find comic books in the 1970s, 60s, 50s, going way back in time. But let me just look up Marvel Spotlight because I like to give the actual day that this character hit the scene. And the site I use is marvelfandom.com. And I use that with some of my eBay listings and other things that I do. And for this show, when I research, I give you the actual date. Like if you watch even a major network that does like a retrospective of Marvel Comics, they'll say, for instance, Fantastic Four #1 mesmerized the public in November 1961 when it was first published. And I'm like, no, it's always 3 months ahead of the actual street date for circulation purposes. Think of it as a stock boy at a grocery store who's stocking milk, and you have a milk expiration date. That tells you, okay, we got to remove this and put the fresh milk here in the cooler. And it's the same principle when it comes to publications. Typically magazines and periodicals are 3 months ahead. The only thing that's not 3 months ahead are obviously daily newspapers or weekly newspapers. But magazines, at least back then, were always 3 months ahead. So Fantastic Four 1 was actually out in August of 1961. I think that's why it sold so well, because it was in the dog days of summer, back when kids were still out of school in the month of August. Man, here in the Cobb County suburb of Atlanta, Georgia, where I live, the kids went back August 1st of this year. And it's been that way for some time, but they kind of have breaks, like winter breaks, not just spring break throughout the year. It's more like a year-round program, but I digress. So Marvel Spotlight, Volume 1, Issue 5, that introduced Johnny Blaze as Ghost Rider, was released on May 30th, 1972. And I'm going to show you issues 1 through 81 of Marvel's Ghost Rider, which was published from 1973 until 1983. But I just want to quickly talk about some history, and I'll get back to the comments. Yes, the movie was released in 07, I see here in my little mini script that I prepared. So, following the Western Comics Ghost Rider character, who used the same name, the first superhero Ghost Rider, alter ego Johnny Blaze, did debut in Marvel Spotlight 5, as I mentioned. And the character is created by Gary Friedrich and Marvel Comics editor-in-chief Roy Thomas and artist Mike Plug, who was a very prolific artist who liked to draw monsters and creatures. Now, with the name Johnny Blaze coming from Stan Lee himself. And after a 7-issue tryout in that Marvel Spotlight book, which was bi-monthly every other month, the character starred in his own title, Ghost Rider, starting in 1973. Now, that also originally was a bi-monthly book. That's why for 10 years, you're like, 81 issues? Shouldn't there be, if there's 12 issues a year, shouldn't there be way more than just 81? Well, it's because it was bi-monthly every other month. And a lot of titles did that, like Daredevil, and then it went to monthly status. X-Men was bi-monthly when they brought it back after many years of being reprints from issue 67 until X-Men 93. Those were all reprints. That's a lot of reprints. And it went into bi-monthly status. And then when the sales grew, they made it monthly. So I want to just mention and show you my copy of Ghost Rider issue number 1 in just a second. This guy it's a very supernatural character, obviously, if you saw the movie. Ghost Rider 1. I just have time to prepare this the way I do, so bear with me as I'm live here. We'll get to the comics. Marvel fandom. So here we go. I want to give you the actual release date. Oh, Ghost Rider 1, Volume 2. Hello. Was released to the public on June 19th, 1973, after that 7-issue tryout in Marvel Spotlight. And the book sold really well. So now I'm going to show you, finally, some comics. Let me just see if there's anything else I want. I didn't really talk about what the character can do. There are all sorts of strange, like a lot of people would understandably think this is a satanic comic book because you had characters introduced like Damien Hellstorm, the son of Satan. Also in Marvel Spotlight and Ghost Rider's solo title. Wow. And he wound up joining the Defenders superhero team, which is like the Avengers. There was another superhero team consisting of some major characters, including the Silver Surfer and the Incredible Hulk and the son of Satan. Let's see here. So what did I want to tell you guys and girls here? All right, I'm just going to show you the books. I'm going to do this properly. I'm going to do a whole podblast on the Ghost Rider character. Yeah, so I'm going to duck out of here and now focus. I'm going to show you some pictures that I took of my actual comic books. Hello, Keebler. Hello, Skeleton. I know I said hey already, but let me, here is what I put together. What? Wrong one. Oh, don't look. That's a coming attraction. All right, this was my thumbnail image. I had to crop it. So that's the first issue on the left of Ghost Rider from 1973. And then obviously there's the last issue of the Ghost Rider from 1983, issue number 81 from my collection. I have a beautiful copy of Ghost Rider issue 1. Here it is. Look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? I mean, I cannot see a single imperfection. I just want to pause and admire that cover art. Mm, mm, mm. I'm going to show you the inside, the first page, the splash page, as they call it. Page 1, which is usually, a full frame shot. And I love the double truck shots, which are 2 full frame shots sandwiched together, usually in the centerfold or somewhere in the story. I love those double truck pieces of artwork. I mean, this is pop culture history and pop culture art. Hear me type in there. I just wanted to get the date. I didn't have time to pull this up. So this book was actually on the street on June 19th, 1973. Now I'm going to show you the inside of it. I took this shot just before I went live. There, look, I mean, that is just like almost an unread copy. I've never read it, but I mean, white pages. I mean, can you believe that book right there is over 50 years old? It's over 51 years old as we're live here in 2024, in September 2024. And that was released on June 19th, 1973. And there's the back cover of that book. I mean, I need to get it graded. I need to send that off to a grading company and have that officially graded. So here are some quick notes about this issue. I'm not going to do this with each and every one. We'll be here all night, right? I think in the initial 5, I think they're worthy of having some liner notes. So let me do that real quick. Whew. I type loudly. Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay. This book also had the first cameo appearance of Damien Hellstrom, the son of Satan, but he's a good guy, believe it or not. He's in multiple panels, but in the shadows. Now, this book sells in high grade for about $1,200 because it's not the first appearance. First appearance, as I've already stated several times now, was in Marvel Spotlight issue 5, which fetches more than this, but that's still pretty hefty. $1,200 in mint condition. And this certainly looks mint to me. I need to have it officially graded, but I don't want to slab the book and encase it in carbonite like Han Solo, the fictional Han Solo and The Empire Strikes Back. I just, I can't do it. I can't do it. So let's move on to the next issue. I've already shown you the inside front. I'll leave that up just for a second. Anyone watch it on their television that can maybe actually read that and wants to pause it. All right. And then the back cover. Now here's issue 2. That's my actual copy of issue 2 of Ghost Rider. And this is a notable issue as well. I can see why some parents would be a little alarmed if they saw little Max reading Ghost Rider when you had these demonic looking characters on the cover. But this issue 2 of Ghost Rider, also from 1973, is often cited as the first full appearance of Damien Hellstrom, the son of Satan. Though the character does appear in many panels, he's obscured by shadows throughout this issue. And this book sells for about $155 in mint condition on average, sometimes more, sometimes less. Let me just find one thing here. What do you think about the art? I'm going to get to the chat in just a second. I have my screens up where I have to look at my notes. So this book was released on July 3rd, 1973, just in time for the 4th of July holiday. It's just, I mean, I got this book at Book Nook in Decatur for maybe $7. And it's not as nice as my issue 1, as you can see, but that's just because of a printing error. See how it's a little off center on the spine? Like the artwork should be right on the spine. There's that white indentation. That's part of the back cover. And it's not rolled, as they say, like, like a kid would roll a comic book, put it in his pocket to take on the school bus or what have you, or on a field trip, or, just carry it around, and the spine would get damaged that way. Well, that's not the case with this particular copy. This was like a printing error, but I'm just admiring this artwork. I mean, I think it looks really, really cool. So we're going to move on. I only took pictures of the first 5 issues and the last issue. I'll show you how Johnny Blaze's journey ended, at least in Ghost Rider. Volume 2, Volume 1 was a Western Ghost Rider title. I know I'm repeating myself, but I just want to be very clear about that. Oops. All right, so let's flash forward to, of all days, 9/11, September 11th, 1973, for the 3rd issue. Oh wait, I didn't show you the inside. So there's the inside splash page of issue 2 of Ghost Rider. I mean, look at those eyes. I just love that artwork. And look what it says: "Shake hands with Satan." I mean, good Lord. I mean, geez, what were they smoking over there in the Marvel headquarters, New York City, back in the early 70s? That's a little spooky. That devil stuff freaks me out. When I was in high school, I could watch movies like The Omen or Rosemary's Baby, but now as an adult, it just freaks me out, man, because I don't want to think about possibly winding up in hell when I eventually die. There's more of the inside of issue 2. It's a gorgeous copy, like I said. I mean, I'm very proud to have like these pristine copies. Wow, good stuff. So now there's issue 3 from 9/11/1973, street date. And this biker has kidnapped Johnny Blaze's woman. So all hell, no pun intended, is about to break loose. Look, it says on the cover, "Hell on Wheels." So let's open this book up a little bit. I love his transformation. There is Johnny Blaze becoming a man again. And I didn't really talk about the origin of Johnny Blaze. Shame on me. Let me get to the origin of the character. I was talking more about the publication history. Let's see here. So Johnny Blaze was a stunt motorcyclist, and he's the son of a guy named Barton Blaze and Naomi Kale, with a K, like, you know, something that maybe a vegan would eat, kale. He spent his early years in the carnival circuit, where his parents starred in a stunt show, along with Craig Crash Simpson. Of course, Crash was a nickname. Now, Johnny's mother walked out on Barton, and Johnny's mother walked out on Barton and Johnny and took the family's remaining 2 children, Barbara and Danny, with her. Losing his mother caused Johnny to repress many of his memories of her and his siblings. When his father died in a stunt, Johnny was adopted by Crash and Mona Simpson. The Simpsons helped Johnny by fabricating his past with the hope that would be less painful than the truth. Now, believing that his real mother was Clara Blaze, who had died, Johnny became an enthusiastic member of the Simpson family, growing closer to their daughter, Roxanne. The two soon became inseparable. As they grew older, their fondness for one another moved beyond family. Blaze would eventually join the Simpsons in their own traveling stunt show, the Crash Simpson Stunt Cycle Extravaganza. Crash had become a father figure for Blaze, and upon learning of Crash's life-threatening cancer, Johnny Blaze turned to the occult. His studies led him to a spell which supposedly could summon Satan. I'm going to say itself. It says himself, itself, because for all I know, Satan could be a woman. Probably is. Just kidding, Keebler. You're good. Yeah, I don't know why I singled you out, because you're a good person. Johnny was unaware that he had, in fact, summoned Mephisto, who was introduced in Silver Surfer Volume 1, Issue 3 in 1968. He's a demonic character. He's a villain of Thor also and the Silver Surfer. Now, desperate to save Crash, Blaze sold his soul to Mephisto in return for Crash's cancer to be cured. So the cancer was cured. Crash Simpson's cancer went away, but he was unfortunately killed in a stunt trying to jump over 22 cars. Now, Mephisto, when confronted by Blaze over Crash's death in that stunt, declared that he had kept his end of the bargain. Johnny's exact words in the bargain had been for Crash to be spared the cancer which was killing him, not for him to live just to die in an accident. Blaze was saved by Roxanne when she proclaimed her love for Johnny Blaze, driving Mephisto away with the purity of her emotion. Johnny Blaze was unaware that Mephisto had bonded with the demon Zarathos as an act of revenge and was transformed into a Ghost Rider, a leather-clad skeleton with a flaming skull head. While Johnny still had his soul, he was forced to punish the wicked and evil upon Mephisto's commands whenever needed. Whenever he was in the presence of evil, he would transform into the Ghost Rider to exact the devil's revenge, returning the evil to hell. Johnny Blaze was not completely lost in the transformation, however, and would also help the innocents when they were in danger. Now, as I talked about a moment ago, as the Ghost Rider, the Flaming Skull character, his alter ego, he did encounter Damien Hellstrom. Johnny later came to work as a movie stuntman for a studio. As the Ghost Rider, he became a member of the Champions superhero team. Hercules was in the Champions, and several others. I'm trying to think. Daredevil, and she died in spoiler alert, in Avengers Endgame. Oh my gosh. Scarlett Johansson played her. Help me. Where's my brain? She was in the Champions. Black Widow, my goodness, introduced in Tales of Suspense 52, which is an Iron Man half, the Iron Man half of that book. Tales of Suspense. Anyway, and she was a Russian. And still is a Russian, I suppose. Okay, so I said Russia. Oh, I hope the stream doesn't get shut down. So the Champions, yes. So he eventually joined the Champions, which is a book that lasted, I think, only 18 issues in the 1970s. I think it ended in 1977, if memory serves correctly. All right, so I think that's enough of the origin for the most part. But when he was a member of the Champions, he met Morbius, the living vampire. Did you see the movie Morbius? I didn't think it was that bad. Any movie on a ship is something that interests me. And that was by Sony Studios, released, I think, in early 2023. I liked it. But Morbius is a living vampire. But he also encountered the Man-Thing, who is Marvel's answer to the Swamp Thing, even though the Man-Thing predated the Swamp Thing by over 3 months in publication history. And Werewolf by Night is another person, a character that tangled with the Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze's Ghost Rider. He lost a motorcycle stunt riding championship to a character named Flag Fargo, and later came to work as a stunt rider for the Quentin Carnival. Quentin, like Quentin Tarantino. Eventually, Zarathos would gain control of Johnny Blaze, and the Ghost Rider would become the spirit of Zarathos Unleashed. Johnny Blaze himself was becoming stronger as well, and the conflicting personalities led to a battle over Johnny Blaze's physical body. All right, so the rest is very much inside baseball. Let's get back to the books, because I said I wouldn't be long, and I just want to give you some history of the origin of the character of Johnny Blaze the Ghost Rider. There's more of the inside. Look, there's that biker going after his woman. And this is a terrible character. Look, he's like a Hell's Angel bad biker. He's got like a swastika right there on his little leather jacket, and he's trying to whip her with a chain. This guy is, but he gets his comeuppance. This guy's not a nice guy. This bald biker there. Scumbag. There's the back cover of issue 3 of the Ghost Rider, this book in my collection, and these are the actual pages of the inside that I took photos of. Let's move on to issue 4 of the Ghost Rider. There you go. There's the front cover of that book from my collection. I only photographed the first 5 in the last issue, so I'm going to be holding up books and moving along rather quickly very soon. Oh, I didn't mention, geez Louise, some keynotes. Let me go back and show you the picture of issue 3, the cover for issue 3, just real quick. This is just one little sentence here. Some key facts about this issue, Ghost Rider issue 3. It's the debut of a new power where Ghost Rider summons a motorcycle from hellfire that he controls and it's the second full appearance of the Son of Satan. I know I already said that, and this sells in mint condition for around $45 or so. Now, issue number 4 that I just showed you. Let's see. Okay, there's not really anything super special about this book, but let's just move along. I'm not going to go through the history and when it was out and all that sort of thing, because we'd be here all night. There's issue 5 from my collection. Look at that, man. Like a Grim Reaper character in the upper left side of your screen. Bad to the bone. Let's open up this book, shall we? There it is. Look at that.
And Vegas writhes in flame.
There's more of the inside of the book. Look, it's gorgeous. It's like unread. I mean, can you believe that's over 50 years old, this comic book? And I've not had it slabbed. If you slab a book in the hard plastic shell like this one, it will preserve it, they say, for possibly up to 100 years. And this is the top grade I've ever had, a 9.8. It's hard plastic. But see, you can't read the book. It's like Han Solo. Like I said, you know, he's frozen. It's frozen. But I think books older than 1966 are going to really start to deteriorate now that we're into 2024. So I think just to preserve them, it's important that you do slab them. Maybe have a reprint or a bonus copy if you can afford it. That's not slabbed. That's maybe not in perfect condition, just so you can read it and look through it and look at the ads and everything. So slabbing is a necessary evil. It is definitely necessary, especially if you're not a reseller. If you're just someone that wants to preserve the book, I think it is important for books 1966 and older for sure. Okay, so showed you that. Oh no, I didn't. Wait a second. I'm starting to lose it now. That is from the last issue. I effed up. Okay, so all I had from issue 5 was the splash page, page 1, and we will hold now on the photos. And now I'm just going to get to flipping through the copies from my box. This box. Let me hold it up for the camera. I should have done this on a Sunday. I was doing some live unboxings of a comic collection that I had purchased in April of 2024. And I'm going to start doing that again. I'm going to buy some more books. Let me show you this box really quickly, and we'll get started in rapid fire. I'm going to get to the comments. So what we're looking through is this long box. And there's all sorts of good books in alphabetical order and in numeric order of the issue that I'm going to share with you tonight. So all sorts of good stuff in here. We left off with number 5. So I'm going to grab a stack because I don't want to damage these books. I just love them. Well, here's issue number 6. I love those transformation shots, transformation artwork. I just think it looks really cool. That's issue 6. Here is issue 7. I need to hold it up a little longer, don't I? That reminds me of Judge Dredd, the guy on the right. That looks like Judge Dredd, who Sly Stallone played on the big screen in the 90s. It was a First Comics character. First Comics is a comic book independent publisher. I think they're long defunct by now. Let me look at the comments and take my little name off so you can see things better. Let's see if anyone has any questions. Hello to mid-sized Sasquatch. Talk like a pirate day is coming up. I don't know if I can do that. I need to practice that. Slow down, Chance. You're acting wired. Well, it's the Pepsi. I've not had a lick of alcohol and certainly no drugs. Let me just back up and see these comments. Danny Staten in South Carolina said they had a cowboy Ghost Rider in one of the movies. Yeah, and that was cool. That was their tribute, played by Sam Elliott. Good observation there. Let me go back and make sure I didn't leave anyone out that left a comment. Took the time to pop in and leave a comment. Let's see. Okay, hang on. About my intro, I showed a little intro to V, the series, which lasted for 19 episodes from 1984 to 1985, and they kind of did have an ending. in that the Star Child goes up to meet the leader of the lizard people. NBC abruptly canceled the show. It was going to actually conclude as a two-parter, but they ceased production before the second half of that story could be unveiled. Anyway, BK on the Air is a cool radio show. He's on from 10 a.m. to noon. I think he's Ezra Live. He's off tomorrow traveling, but he'll be back the following week and almost every week from 10 a.m. to noon Eastern time. And you can listen to it. It's a good nostalgia show on WBHF through their app or their website if you're not in their broadcast range in Cartersville, Georgia. He said, I think those little ships on V would have fit in on Star Trek the Motion Picture as shuttle air trams. He's right. I never thought of that. It's a good observation. And again, I know I said hey to you already, but hey, fat comic book guy, hello to you. I'll get back to the books in a second. I just don't want to neglect anyone who left a comment. God, I'm not good tonight. Skeleton said Ghost Rider should have been called Daredevil. Well, we already had Daredevil. He hit the scene in 1964, and this was 1972 when Marvel Spotlight issue 5 was published. So the name was already claimed, but it was all in the family because it was Marvel Comics all the way with both of those characters that published those books. But that's a nice observation. Hello to Rad Art and Comics. He has a really cool YouTube channel. I don't know if you're still there, Keebler. If you could link him up so people could subscribe to his channel, and anyone here that's a creator, BK on the Air, certainly, and everyone, I would love, or Danny, if you're still awake, I won't be on too much longer. I would love to link up everyone. So I would encourage everyone to subscribe to anybody that you see in the chat. If you're into comic books or nostalgia, you're going to love BK in the Air. You're going to love definitely Rad Art and Comics. That's a really good YouTube channel. Let me see, where'd I leave off here? Okay. Yeah, the transformation was a lot like the Incredible Hulk transformation, very undefined as the internal workings of where Johnny's spirit was, while the spirit of vengeance remained, much like Banner. Correct. And in the last panel I'm going to show tonight, in the last issue, you see a little shot of what happened to the Ghost Rider persona of Johnny Blaze in that final issue, 81. Take a chance, take a chance, take a chance. Hello, mid-sized Sasquatch. Take a chance, take a chance. Quoting the ABBA song. If you change your mind. I can't sing. Carbonite Ghost Rider. I think I said Carbomite earlier. I meant to say Carbonite. I know the difference. I really do. I found a bunch of cool Empire Strikes Back Topps cards. I'm going to start giving away some duplicates I have. The blue and the red series. That'll be... Oh, thank you, Keebler, for linking up BK's YouTube channel. And Keebler had said, slow down, you're acting wired. It's the Pepsi, like I said. Okay, so let's continue with the books. We left off with issue 7. And yeah, 6 does have that cool transformation. So let me hurry it along here. The Devil's Disciple, issue 8. I mean, look at that art. Look at that demonic looking. I mean, it's kind of spooky, real spooky. Little Cyclops, fanged demon. Jeez, get out of town, as Michael J. Fox's character said in Back to the Future. Marty McFly. Showdown with Satan. I mean, damn. The hellbound hero. Okay. I don't endorse devil worship here in the Nostalgic Podblast. We're a good family show. I had listed 3 duplicate copies of Ghost Rider on eBay and my eBay store, the Nostalgic Podblast, _Nostalgic_Podblast. So I went through my Ghost Riders tonight. That's the reason I picked this out. There's no like, oh, look, there's the Hulk skeleton. Ghost Rider battles the Incredible Hulk. Well, that's not a fair fight. The Hulk will tear that little skeleton limb from limb, or bone from bone, as it were. It says super strength versus supernatural, the most action-packed story of the year. It's hard to find Ghost Riders in comic shops, like in the wild comic book stores and stuff. You just don't see them. And it is late. It's 1 a.m. on the East, so I know Open by Chance isn't here. Hopefully they'll catch us on the replay. Lady Pop Hunter and David Eon, Open by Chance YouTube channel. They're great. They do unboxings and they give reviews of conventions of all types of pop culture media, record albums, comic books. toys, hence their name, opened by Chance Stories. They have a toy museum in their home. It's amazing. One of these days, I'm going to check it out in person. Look, there's a little fold crease on the bottom right corner of this book. Oh, well, but like Danny Cochran says, low grade's better than no grade. But so it was a two-parter, that battle with the Hulk. Here's issue 12 out of 81. He always got the babes, the Ghost Rider, even in cartoon land or comic book land. There's that cover. Here's issue 13. Am I going too fast, Keebler? Should I slow down? I just want to get through this. I've already gone 41 minutes. I wanted to try to keep this to an hour. That'll be the day. Dream on, right? Let me quickly put this stack up because I don't want to damage these gorgeous books for no reason. All right. Here's issue 14. This is a weird villain, the Orb. It's just a giant eyeball. The Orb. I forgot to look at my list. There's a good website. It's called Key Collector Comics. And I pulled it up so I could look quickly at some notes of like notable first appearances in these books. Where the heck is it? Okay. Yeah, issue 10. Where was 10? 10. All right, hang on. Issue 10, I know I already showed it, but I just want to hold it up again. It's, oh, shoot, it's a reprint. It contains a reprint of Ghost Rider's first appearance in Marvel Spotlight number 5. The Hulk appears on the cover, but does not appear in the issue. Okay, I've not read this. I didn't know that. So he was only in the previous issue. It says Marvel issued a letter in Ghost Rider number 11 with an explanation that the Hulk story wasn't confirmed before the cover was printed. They missed a deadline, in other words. All right, so issue 12 said Death of the Phantom Eagle character. And that was this one, issue 12. And, okay, cool. We don't have another one to highlight till issue 22. So we can now get back to rapid fire with these covers. So when I hit 22, I'll have some more notes for you. Issue 22. So let me get my little monitor up. Yeah, the Orb. Isn't that cool, Skeleton? It's bad to the bone. Thanks for linking up Open by Chance. You're fine, Keebler. Thank you for everything you're doing. I'm gonna keep it under 3. I'm gonna keep it to under. It's so late. I'm gonna try to keep this to under 90 minutes. So I'm gonna start going fast now. Here we go. I just love the art. Now, I'm sorry about the glare. I'm doing the best I can about this glare. Oh, look. In the gripping tradition of Jaws. How about that, Danny Staten? I know you love movie tie-ins with comic books and comic books about television shows. I'm going to look at when this was released. Again, this is a bi-monthly title, so the time period goes by pretty quickly. Every issue represents 2 months of time. Wow. So it says, blood into water. That is bad to the bone. Let me look up when this was published. Issue 16. When it was released and published. Yeah. Hang on a second. Issue 16. That's bad. Bad A. Issue 16. Volume 2, issue 16. Come on. This hit, it had to have been, now we must be in 1975 because Jaws was released in 1975. November 18th, 1975. Okay. So it had to have been written and drawn, maybe in August of 75, in the height of Jaws's popularity on the big screen. Now I'm going to look up when Jaws, I should know this off the top of my head. I never really have committed it to memory. Jaws movie. I want to know the actual release date and in the USA, and it's right here. All right. So Jaws, directed by Steven Spielberg, was released on June 20th, 1975, before the July 4th holiday. Of course, the story is around the 4th of July holiday. It cost $9 million to make, but it earned $476.5 million at the box office, adjusted for inflation. Wow. Incredible. So, yeah, that is just awesome. I don't think I've seen this cover in years. I mean, I forgot all about it. Look at his Ghost Rider's left bone is in the jaws of that shark, man. That is bad to the bone. All right, so that's 16, 14, 15, 16. Here's issue 17, side by side with the Son of Satan. Satan, like remember the church lady? I love the church lady character on Saturday Night Live, back when it was funny. Dana Carvey.
Oh, he's side by side with, looks like Satan.
I can't do it as good as Dana Carvey, of course. But, yeah, pretty neat. Again, he's got some dame with him, some beautiful babe. Now, Spider-Man and the Thing from the Fantastic Four made an appearance in Ghost Rider issue 18. This is one of the ones I have for sale right now. One of my duplicate copies, The Salvation Run. And so I took a bunch of photos, which is in my eBay listing. I think I put it up for 7 days. I can't remember. 5 or 7 days now. Look at this demonic. That looks like that's the devil itself. God. I mean, a lot of people that don't know comic books think they're like the same thing as a Saturday morning cartoon, like for children. But Stan Lee wrote these stories for college-age students and Vietnam War era soldiers. Those are the main people buying them. If you do your homework, you'll find that to be true. And I don't think I'm going to back up here. I don't think he wrote specifically for college students. I think he just wrote on an intelligent level that people could relate to. He wrote about relationships, money problems, like with Peter Parker in The Amazing Spider-Man and the like. There was a realism to it. People could relate to these characters. So, yeah, unbelievable that I think it's very strange. I'm not getting on a soapbox. Oh, now here, issue 21. 22, I have some notes now. They changed the logo. Okay, there's the logo from the first issue through the 20th. They changed it in issue 21 to this logo. Is that? Skeleton says, I love the lady from the show Touched by an Angel. Hello to Brandon Mitchell. Hey, Brandon, I'm just showing some Ghost Rider, every issue ever published by Marvel of Ghost Rider Volume 2 from my collection. So there is, now let me see what were my notes in the keycollectorcomics.com about issue 22. This is the first appearance of Enforcer, an assassin for hire, not to be confused with the Enforcers introduced in Amazing Spider-Man 10, who were villains initially of Peter Parker, the Amazing Spider-Man. Okay, let's move along here and grab another stack. All right, I'm grabbing another stack. So I'm picking up the pace, Danny State. And I know you got to be tired. You're on the East Coast like I am, and it's damn 1:30 a.m. Here's issue 23. This is another one I have up on eBay right now, and a bonus copy I have in my collection. All right. Here's issue 24. Showdown with the Enforcer. So the Enforcer returned. All right. Let me look at my notes again. Issue 23, first appearance and origin of Aqueduct, a.k.a. otherwise known as the Water Wizard, in 23 that I showed you. All right, so 29 is the next time I have a note for you. So that was 23. Okay. So one of the ones I have for sale is a minor key book, but hey, any first appearance is a key book because you never know when these characters are going to turn up in the MCU, Marvel Comics Universe, on Disney Plus streaming or on the big screen. So let me get my monitor up here. Danny Staten says, it don't matter. It's YouTube. What I miss, I'll watch in the morning over coffee. Well, thank you. Hey, I appreciate your loyalty and that you're interested enough to take the time and effort to do that, brother. Thank you, sir. God bless you, Danny Staten. And now you have a cool channel about Starlog magazine. Somebody please link that up. I think BK, if he's still out there or watching on the replay on the road, I think you'd really like Danny's alternate channel, one of several alternate YouTube channels he has, and it's called Starlog. And I really like that channel. Keebler says, I want to hear it. I just did 4.5 hours live and I'm here for you. I'm on little sleep. I'm sorry, girl. I will hurry up. I don't want to be here that long. Okay. Sorry. Here's issue 25. We're going to stop at 81. Oh, man. Mayhem. It says, I like the character Mayhem, and I don't like insurance companies. I think they rip us off and they try to have these, they all try to outdo themselves with these funny comedic commercials. But I do like Mayhem. I won't mention the company, although that company never screwed me over like another one did that I won't get into. When an old man backed into my car, clearly it was his fault. His insurance company really rammed me pretty good with a new Audi I had purchased. Oh, real good. Jeez. I need to go to bed in a little bit. Geez. Botten. Mayhem, the character. I think that actor does a great job. The writing, I do like those comedic. That's one exception I can make in my disdain for insurance companies and how they just think it's just so comical, them sucking up all of our money that they can buy almost every skyscraper in New York City that China doesn't own. And, it's just pure profit, right? Oh, I know there's risk and they do pay out occasionally, but man, the insurance, it's all, our destinies have been bought and sold by the politicians, making it mandatory. Why not let us have our own personal risk? You know what I'm saying? All right. Anyway, I digress. All right. Here's issue 26 of the Ghost Rider with a character named Dr. Druid. He goes back to pre-superheroes Marvel. Dr. Droom in Amazing Adventures issue 1 from 1960. I have that book in my collection. I do have that. Here's issue 27. This is a silly character. Like a bull guy. Come on now. The Manticore. It's the menacing knight of the Manticore. And there's Hawkeye trying to assist. Or actually, check that. Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider's assisting Hawkeye. Because he's on the ground. I got to change some of these bags if you can see how they're wavy. Now the evil orb is back. I just love that weirdo eyeball. Creepy. I mean, that guy needs to be on the big screen. They need to bring this character out of mothballs. Cringe, Hellspawn. Your deadliest enemy is back to exact the most monstrous vengeance of all. As he rides right over the flaming bones of Johnny Blaze. As the Ghost Rider. 29. Okay, this was in my notes. Let me see what's so significant about. I know this was a crossover with a Doctor Strange issue. Let's see. Okay, issue 29. This is the first meeting of Ghost Rider and Doctor Strange. There you go. And then the next issue is the first appearance of Bounty Hunter, and that's the third of the trio that I have up on eBay in a lot auction right now as we're live. There it is, issue 30. Here's issue 31, Beware the Bounty Hunter, who was introduced in the previous issue 30. Now, see, I don't want to digress or we'll be here all night, but speaking of Bounty Hunter, Heroes and Icons has been playing the Fall Guy, Lee Majors show, for the first time since 1997. I thought it would be the whole series. They're starting to skip a whole bunch of episodes. They skipped the one with Joaquin Phoenix, the current Joker on the big screen. He had a speaking part, a small part in an episode titled Terror U, as in University. And Chrissy did a little short where from that episode where Heather Thomas is trying to get a ride. She needs a ride, so she's wearing these short shorts, and she sticks out her thumb, and this old guy in a car basically does a 180 and almost burns his tires off, screeching to get to her. And it was a funny moment, but I don't know if it's because of Phoenix blocking the episode or paying to block. Like Tom Cruise, those that don't know, Tom Cruise actually allegedly paid to have his first movie, Endless Love. He had a small speaking role in that movie, blocked from home video release after the VHS release. Like it was never on DVD in America or Blu-ray in America. Maybe it has since then, but the story is he was so embarrassed because he was wearing these little Daisy Duke short shorts, after Risky Business and everything else, Top Gun, supposedly, as he rose as a movie star, he didn't want that movie out there. That's the story. I don't know if there's truth to that, but I buy into it. All I know is it's true. It was never released. I had to buy an import of that movie from England. And tomorrow on Chrissy's Brain Benders banner panel, I got an import from England of some candy. I want to show Limey Redneck is this guy's name. He's a YouTuber out of England, and he'll be on the panel. And I ordered it from Amazon UK for free. Did you know? Look at it. Oh, as a news cover. Lady Pop Hunter collects that stuff. She likes covers where there's controversial stuff going on. News covers, drug overdose covers. That's David's wife, Open by Chance Toys. So she'd like that. She probably already has it in her collection, but that's a good cover. She likes racial covers, anything with the Klan. And she's black, by the way. So don't, no letters. Don't be thinking, don't misunderstand her intentions of collecting those books. All right. So there's issue 33 of Ghost Rider. The ultimate cosmic encounter. There you go, BK. If you're out there on the replay, there's a spaceship. It kind of looks like the V saucer, not quite, but similar, except you have that dome thing on top of the ship. But there you go. Yeah, Limey, Esmeralda's here in Washington State, says Limey has the best accent. He does. He has that great British accent out there. And he'll be on the panel tomorrow night with everybody, including myself, which will simul stream here on this very channel, the Nostalgic Podblast, as well as Brain Benders Banter and My Flock. And I think TD streams it as well. All right, let's get on with another stack of books. We got to... Oh, so I didn't finish Fall Guy. So Fall Guy, they skipped the first one they skipped was season 4, episode 4. And I didn't notice it the first time. I'm DVRing them. They skipped the one with Joaquin Phoenix. And it was an Animal House ripoff. Henry Gibson was in it, but there was a fraternity, and there were some really off-color sexist things that were said. That could be the reason they skipped it, but I don't know. Or it could be because of Phoenix. And then the other one they skipped was a season 5 premiere. It was an Elvis-themed episode where cults after an Elvis impersonator in Las Vegas at an Elvis convention. Tons of Elvis songs are performed. It must have been a music rights. In fact, I know it was a music rights issue with the Elvis estate. So that was skipped. Now they're skipping the one with Dennis. Are you in good hands with Allstate? The black actor from those spots, he did a Fall Guy called Trial by Fire, where Colt goes back with his buddies, his Vietnam vet friends, to rescue someone they found was still alive, a prisoner of war in Vietnam. It was a kind of a serious episode. They're skipping that one. And the next step, they're skipping 2 more episodes. So after that's 4 episodes they've skipped, which I have them all on film, reel to reel, but I digress. So actually I'm sad because there's a lot of people that were recording these at home, old school, burning DVDs. There's issue 34 of Ghost Rider, who will have an incomplete set now because they only released seasons 1 and 2 of Fall Guy back in 06 and 07. And they only released season 1 in America. They released season 2 in Europe, but they took out all the background songs and they made edits. 20th Century Fox did. Now Disney owns the Fall Guy. And that might be the reason why you're seeing it again. I think Fox was a bad steward of the Fall Guy. All right, let's continue on. In Denver dwells a demon. Okay. He's probably smoking the demon's lettuce, that's for sure, if he's in Denver. If it were 2024. High Road to Hell. Okay. Cult of Doom. Look at this babe, scantily clad, cleavage hanging out. Bondage cover. Hello. Cult of Doom. I mean, they got away with some stuff past the Comics Code Authority. See that little seal? That's because of going back to the 1950s and Seduction of the Innocent, a book where this guy was claiming that comic books were seducing the youth of America. and putting un-American ideals in their heads. Kind of during McCarthyism. And so the Comics Code Authority was formed, and all of a sudden you had this seal. It was censorship of the comic books because you had some pretty cool horror books. EC Horror, Gaines Publishing put out in the golden age of comics. They had to tone things down. So kind of surprised you had that semi-risque cover there. All right, let's move along. That's Into the Abyss. All right. Issue 39. I've totally lost sight of my notes from Key Collector Comics. Issue 30, I talked about that. 35 was classic story of the Ghost Rider racing death titled Death Race. Okay, like Death Race 2000, starring Sly Stallone. Great movie. Corman movie, Roger Corman. Issue 53, first appearance of Asmodeus. Okay. Issue 55, I'm getting ahead of myself. Hello, dumbass. Sorry. Family show. All right, 35. This one is the classic story of the Ghost Rider racing death titled Death Race. Okay. Caught up. I don't have to worry about this until issue 53. Now I'm on issue 40. Okay, back to the show. And the cover. So, Death in the Nuclear Family. Issue 40 of Ghost Rider. Now on sale monthly, tying in what I said earlier, how it was a bi-monthly title. Then the sales picked up, became monthly. That's why, it'd been out. This is a 1979 issue between 1973 and 79. Only 40 issues. It's supposed to be 12 a year. So anyway, now it's monthly. Ooh, this is a cool cover. The man who was the Ghost Rider, like the first original Ghost Rider, kind of a spooky cover. Look at that. Those yellow glowing eyes. It's kind of like the Red Skull, Captain America's arch enemy. Interesting. Issue 42, The Lonesome Death of Johnny Blaze.
Hey, look out, man. Do you see what I see? Holy shit.
All right, now it's your turn.
Now it's your turn. Get ready to taste hell.
Taste hell. That's Johnny Blaze against Johnny Blaze, or it's the flaming skull Johnny Blaze against the human Johnny Blaze. I need to read this. I've never read this book with the full moon yet. Damn. Issue 44. Looks like Al Hardy in the background, friend of the show. One of the founding fathers of the Nostalgic Podblast. I joke because he's always joking he needs to get a haircut. But anyway, all right. Here's issue 45. Oh, this came from the collection I bought. Let me explain. This was actually my copy. This is called a newsstand copy. It's got a barcode, right? This is a copy that was distributed to comic book shops. No barcode. Didn't need one because those are smaller retail establishments, specialty shops for comic book collectors and buyers and all that sort of thing. So I had this copy, and then in the collection I bought, which was like 5,000 comics, around 5,000 comics last April 2024, was this copy. So I love having both versions. So I'm keeping that bonus copy because I like having one of each. And by the way, this would be out at least a week or 2 weeks, sometimes 2 weeks before it would hit newsstands. And it would, when they started separating a newsstand copy from a direct copy, as they call it, the direct copy would be released first, and then would go out the subscription copies in the mail and the copies on newsstands and spinner racks at the 7-Eleven or Stop and Go, or if you had a 7-Eleven in your neighborhood, wherever you might be watching from right now. All right, let's grab some more. Let me grab some more here. Oh, dear. I should have a video prepared I could play when I do this because I hate lulls like this. It seems like an eternity when I'm not talking. Well, we're more than halfway done. I'll be gosh darned. Let's keep rolling. rolling. Keep them comics rolling. 46. Loser. Damn. That's bullying, sir. God. Guess he lost the race.
You should have summoned me, man. We would have won. I told you.
Issue 47 of Ghost Rider. Issue 48 of Ghost Rider. Look at that huge bat head. Look at that bat attacking Johnny Blaze in skull form. This Marvel comic could be worth $2,500 to you. Rolling. Man, my butt is swollen, says Keebler. Rawhide. Keep them doggies rolling. Good night, 48. All right, let me was there something I was supposed to read about that? No, 53. Okay. 53 is the next key. All right, let me go on. I'm sorry, Staten. He's probably leaving. There's issue 49 of the Ghost Rider. I mean, love the art. Even if you're not a comic book guy or gal, don't you just love that artwork? I mean, I could look at these books for hours. I just love going through a good comic book box. Now, this is a cool issue. Issue 50, double-size issue, where Johnny Blaze's Ghost Rider teams up with the Western Ghost Rider. Isn't that cool? I think that's cool. I don't care what this website says. That should be a key. It's not listed in the key collector website, but the heck with that. This was always a hard one to find. Look at that cover. I love the Western Ghost Rider. He goes back to 1946, I think. The same year WPHF, the radio station that BK on the Air transmits from, was founded. I love it. I'll look that up. I want to confirm. I never want to put any fake and false information out there. There's issue 51. Jeez. It looks like a possessed big rig. Look at the eye. That is cool, like a Kentworth truck. If Shane B's out there, he'd probably like that cover. Look at that. He drives a rig. Let's see. Oh, I have two. Hold on a second. What did I do? Is that it must be? Oh yeah, this must be one. This is one I got from the collection I bought. So I've got the direct edition. What? Wait, the direct edition and the newsstand edition. Issue 52. All right, the next one's a key. Issue 52. They're all keys to me. I just like the artwork. Is that? Now, here's issue 53. Let me look at my notes. It says the first appearance of Asmodeus. Yes. All right, the next key is 55, and there's quite a lot going on with issue 55, so let's get to issue 55. We stop at issue 81. 53. There's 54. The orb is back, the orb of evil. Sorry about the glare. I need to change this bag. See how it's all wavy? That means it's doing its job. A bag in an acid-free board absorbs the chemical residual elements from the coloring process of these print comic books before they were on slick paper, right? It's like newsprint, like a newspaper. And the bags need to be changed every so many years, and they will be like yellow. When you stack them up, when you change the bags, I do it all the time. You will see that they've done their job. Werewolf by Night. Okay, Ghost Rider meets Werewolf by Night. And let me read my notes about this issue right fast quick. Oh, Keebler says, I have no idea how to tell the difference between newsstand and direct. The barcode, the UPC symbol, that's so simple. That, and you'll have a square where the price is. It'll be a diamond where the price is. I'll show you next time. I don't want to backtrack. Well, let me just do that, and I'll get to see how there's a diamond. That's a direct, and it has Spider-Man's face, whereas the direct copy has 2 squares and a UPC symbol for the checker to scan it with, if they have that technology. Thank you, Chance. I never knew that about how to care for comics. You're welcome, Esmeralda. It goes back to the 80s, really. And the bags and boards are much more advanced nowadays in terms of absorbing the acid elements. That's what it means, acid-free. The bags are acid-free. The backing boards are acid-free. And, of course, the backing boards prevent spine ticks from bends and folds. Although sometimes when you got to be careful putting the book in the bag the first time, because you might cause a crease. It might fold up on you. So the notes here state at keycollectorcomics.com, this is the first meeting and team up of Johnny Blaze and Jack Russell. It's the first battle of Ghost Rider versus Werewolf by Night. And I can't wait, by the way, to see this Halloween, which is right around the corner, what Disney Plus has installed, because they brought Werewolf by Night to life in live action a couple years ago, and it was very well received. And you saw the Man-Thing in live action form in that production. Is really good stuff. Now, it says here, the cover indicates this is when Ghost Rider meets Werewolf by Night, but an interior editor's note clarifies Ghost Rider briefly met the werewolf in Marvel Premiere issue number 28. Correct. It had all these monsters on the cover. I should have pulled that. It's in my collection. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But it was one that featured all the Marvel monsters, the main Marvel monsters right there on the cover, teaming up. All right. In this issue, Ghost Rider and the Werewolf by Night interact throughout in human and monster form, as opposed to Marvel Premiere number 28, where Ghost Rider attacks the werewolf. But there is no mutual interaction, verbal or physical. So there you go. And they say this sells for about $25 in mint condition presently. They always undervalue. Like, I've seen this book go for a lot more than that. And this is a nice direct. Let me tell you this, Esmeralda, real quick. These copies that are the newsstand copies are more valuable, generally speaking, because they would get handled by kids at the 7-Eleven, on the rack. And the guy stocking it would bend the books. They weren't careful like in a comic shop. A comic book shop owner would have the books on a shelf and not in some little spinner rack. There were so many spine ticks generally in these newsstand editions. So if you can find one in mint condition, it's worth more for that reason, because they weren't well taken care of by the public or the stock person. Here's the Western Ghost Rider again in Johnny Blaze's Ghost Rider title. Knight Rider is what they renamed him. I didn't mention that yet, so there wouldn't be differentiation. Oh, God, I'm so bad. I should have mentioned this earlier. They renamed the Western Ghost Rider. He was Ghost Rider in the 60s in the Marvel books. And when they brought him back, they renamed him Knight Rider. Not like Michael Knight in Michael Knight, Knight Rider, the TV show with Kit, the Knight Industries 2000 talking car, voiced by William Daniels. No, Knight Rider like day and night. They renamed the Ghost Rider Knight Rider because you couldn't have 2 Ghost Riders. I mean, you really could. I thought it would have been cooler to have 2 Ghost Riders, but I guess they thought that the readers would be too confused. So the Western dude was rebranded as the Knight Rider in the early 1970s in Marvel comic books. Knight Rider is back, but can he help the Ghost Rider defeat Moondark? Kind of a lame villain. Moondark. You can do better than that. Okay, so we're going to pick up with issue 57. Here we go. Issue 57. Kind of a cool cover. Now, Ghost Rider, let's see what you can do against a real ghost.
Now, Ghost Rider, let's see what you can do against a real ghost.
That's like, reminds me of Shades as before Rocky 3. Mr. T taunting Rocky, hitting on his wife. Terrible. You want a real man or whatever? He's such a sumbitch. Real ghost. Wow. All right. Let me look at my notes about the Key Comics. Where do I need to stop and pause? issue 56. Already did about the Western Ghost Rider, Knight Rider. First appearance of the Phantom Rider, Hamilton Slade, a descendant of Carter Slade, the original Phantom Rider. Okay. All right. So 68. I don't have to worry about this for another 10 books. So let's rapid fire it. Ghost Rider issue 58. Look at this guy scared as hell, seeing Johnny Blaze on his ass, holding a pistol. Lady Pop Hunter likes covers with guns as well, weapons. But what is the gun doing? She says that's what interests her. So that's a cool cover. No dialogue balloons required. No captions. No nothing. That's just fear. The face of fear in the form of artwork. Here's issue 59 with like living ocean. Water demon. The water demon. I'm created a new character. I'm drawing her, a female demon. I mentioned the name in a previous stream. I won't say it again because I don't want anyone to steal it before it's ready. But it's a female demon character I'm creating. And, hopefully it'll go somewhere. We'll see. Black Juju is what it says here. Issue 61, Prisoner of the Hellspawn. Okay. Got about 20 issues left to go. Issue 62 with the Arabian Night. He was introduced in the Incredible Hulk issue 257, if memory serves correctly. Serves my if my memory serves me correctly there. Mayhem in the Middle East. The Arabian Night. And they also had an Israeli female superhero, which was really cool around that time in the Incredible Hulk. Print run by Bill Mantlo and Sal Buscema. Bill Mantlo was the writer. Sal Buscema was the artist. Brothers with Big John Buscema. Two brothers drew for Marvel Comics in the heyday of Marvel Comics superheroes in the 60s and 70s. And Sal went on way into the 90s and 2000s, actually. All right, there's issue number 63. Again, no words required. That's just a spooky cover. We're into the 1980s, by the way, the early 90s. Now we're into 1981. Here's issue 64. Cease your struggling, Hellspawn. I will control your power now, he's saying. Okay. Now here's issue 65. Wow. This guy is haunted by a bunch of skulls. Talk about a wipeout. He must have wiped out. Bit the dust. Okay. Issue 66. Isn't this where I have some notes for you all? 68. I was off by 2. All right. Here's issue 66. Wail of the Wind Witch. I dated her once. It wasn't pleasant. Wail of the Wind Witch. Oof. Always liked this cover where he's bursting out of the comic pages and setting them ablaze. No pun intended. His last name is Johnny Blaze, the character. But beware his searing touch. This demon lusts for vengeance. I love that cover. And it's a newsstand edition in beautiful condition. So Keebler, they would publish two of the same book, as you see, just to clarify. Now, when I was a kid, we're coming up on the issues where I bought them off the rack myself. I didn't start collecting comics till I was like 11. 10. No, I was 10 years old. I was 10 years old. I was 10. Hang on. Gosh darn it. Yeah. All right. I'm trying to put these back in order. Okay, here's issue 68. This was the key. There's Mephisto. This is the guy who transformed Johnny Blaze into the Ghost Rider that I talked about. That was who was introduced in Silver Surfer issue number 3 back in 1968. I have that book. That's what he looks like. And he's yet to turn up in the Marvel Comics universe in live action form, but He might wind up in the Fantastic Four movie. Don't know. Night Esmeralda. That's a cool cover. Yeah, let me read my notes on this. And I'm sorry, chat. I'm going to put all your comments on the screen before I sign off. This is the origin of the Ghost Rider. Okay, so it's retelling how he got his powers. And there's Mephisto granting him his powers to cure his father from cancer. There it is. Okay, and it's in gorgeous condition. Newsstand edition. Here's issue 69. Oh, let me see what the next key book is. That would be 74. Okay. There's only 81 of these, so we're in the home stretch right now. That's my J.R. Ewing impression. Home stretch right now. There's 70. Issue 70 says freaks. Nowadays, you probably can't even get away with using that word. You know, it's like you're disenfranchising a freak by saying freaks. Oh, what did I get wrong? Oh, I thought you said good night. How did I misread? Well, good. I'm glad you can hang a little bit longer. This was the first one I bought off the rack when I was a kid, when I was 10 years old, with a statue. This guy's flinging a statue at Johnny Blaze. It says, "Evil in the Eyes of Adam Henderson." Statue of Abe Lincoln, I think. I bought this one at the comic book shop when I was 10. 72. The Flame and the Fury. Must have been a mean clown, man. Who would? Now, I know a lot of people don't like clowns or they're scared of clowns, but who would attack a clown? I like rodeo clowns too. I am a clown. That's why I like clowns. I be clowning. Okay. Let me see. Quickly look at my notes. 74. Okay, got it. All right, so here's 73. I like this poster because it looks like, you know, a coming attraction. The circus is coming. Circus of Crime. It's like an old Western poster. Very cool artwork there. Keebler says clowns are scary. Thank you. I know she texted me. Isn't that sweet? Thank you, Esmeralda. Thank you, Keebler and Esmeralda, for pointing that out. Thanks, Keebler. She sent people to the Nostalgic Podblast. I hope they stick around. All right, here's a key book. It's not a major key, but let me quickly read my notes. I got to frame it just right because I can't see the monitor when I read these things. Okay, so this is the first appearance of Centurius, a prince who was responsible for Zarathos's enslavement. Okay. Zarathos's enslavement. Zarathos's enslavement. All right. Let's move on to 75. First appearance of Steel Wind, a cyborg mercenary. A chick. Looks kind of like Keebler. Keebler's a bad-ass lady. Seriously, that is what I envision Keebler looks like. I'm not fooling. Steel Wind. That's Keebler. In my mind. Dress up like her for Halloween, Keebler. Steel Wind. Now, let's look at Keebler is the bomb. I agree, Esmeralda. All right, let's see. Notes. Issue 76 is another key. Then the very next issue. First appearance of Zarathos, an entity separate from Johnny Blaze. First appearance of Saturnine, a minor demon. Saturnine or Saturnine, like the planet Saturn. Saturn, and then the number 9. Saturnine. I don't know how you say it. But Saturnine, a minor demon. Okay. All these are keys. Okay, and then the next one's a key. I hope that was in frame. I couldn't see. Origin of Zarathos, origin of Centurius. So it's got 2 origins in it. And then the next key is not till the last issue, and it's the final issue has the death of the Ghost Rider. So they say they brought him back. Death of the Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze's Ghost Rider, and the final issue, and I'll show you some pictures from that book, from my copy. So let's X out of there. Let me see if this is in frame. All right, it kind of is there. So here's issue 78 with Nightmare, who was a villain of Doctor Strange's, introduced in Strange Tales in the 1960s. Nightmare has been in the MCU in live action form, but that's a cool cover. Poor Johnny Blaze. Murdered by the Man Cycle. This is, you know, the end was near. They were running out of ideas, I suppose. Creativity, the creative juices have dried up. Come on now, the Man Cycle. That's stupid. I like this cover though. The Eater of Souls. It looks like a Tiffany glass, like a Tiffany lamp, or Tiffany, you know, like or like at a church, you know, the church glass. Love that, man. That's pretty cool. They rebounded with that one. Look at those tentacles coming up. Good night. Which one you like to cover? Which one, Keebler? This one or the one with the Man Cycle? Or, because I know I'm behind here, there's a delay. Or Nightmare? Or which one? That brings us to the end. The grand finale, the final issue. Here's my copy. She says all of them, but the Motorcycle Man was favorite. Okay, because I thought it looked kind of hokey, but the artwork was cool. There's the final issue of Ghost Rider Volume 2. And I didn't tell you what day it hit the street. It was in March of 83. That much I know. We quickly pull that up. And we'll start to wrap this live stream. How long have we gone? 1 hour and a half. Not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad. Hell, I might want to show you some more out of this box if you can hang with me. Catch it on the replay. If you got to go, you got to go. You know, I get it. Let me look up. I don't know why I'm talking like a hayseed tonight. My true accent's coming out. I don't understand why. It's probably a mental condition. Okay, March 1st, 1983. La 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 la. So, in this one, the Ghost Rider freed the souls that Centurius had trapped inside of the Crystal of Souls before the latter was sucked into the crystal himself. Johnny fought Zarathos over control of his own body before the demon was trapped along with Johnny Blaze. Afterwards, Johnny and Roxanne rode off and contemplated what to do next with their lives, while Mephisto, who gave Johnny his alter ego of the Ghost Rider, acquired the Crystal of Skulls, which contained both Zarathos and Centurius. And this was the final issue of the original series. And Johnny Blaze is separated from Zarathos in this issue. Blaze appears next in human form in The New Defenders, Volume 1, issues 145 through 146. And then Zarathos appears next. Zarathos, I don't know how you pronounce it. Zarathos. Zarathos appears next in Amazing Spider-Man issue 274. All right, so there's that. And, man, I appreciate y'all staying up with me. Esmeralda says, I got a Southern accent, too. I know. And check your mail. It probably hasn't gotten there yet. I mailed everything Tuesday. You won a trivia prize. I had 3 winners. You in Washington State, someone in Florida, Tracy, and Mr. Gutfeld in New York. And he was kind of calling me. He goes, I haven't got my card yet. I'm like, dude, I know. Monday was a holiday. Tuesday was the first time I had to mail it. And I did directly from the post office with a first-class stamp. So please allow, new disclaimer, please allow up to 2 weeks for delivery of your prize when you win playing the Nostalgic Podblast 1970s trivia. And we're going to continue with that this Friday night on the Nostalgic Podblast in our regular show. And we're going to get back to a weekly show. I went bi-weekly towards the latter end of summer. We're going to get back to weekly. And then tomorrow night, I'll be on Brain Bender's Banter on the panel. We're going to talk about our YouTube journeys and travels and all that good stuff. Hope you can be here for that. at 9:00 Eastern, 9:15 Eastern, 6:15 Pacific. Now, they brought Ghost Rider back. I'm not going to show you all these because I promised I'd just do volume 1, but they had a volume 3 with Johnny Blaze. What was this? 1990, I think. I should know that, but I'm not going to research that right now. And I have all of those as well. They brought him back, so he did return, but some of the artwork was just really freaky and funky. Let me show you some of these. Well, no, I won't, because I said I wouldn't. We'll do that another time on the Podblast. Also in this box are some Fantastic Fours. There's Giant Size FF3, because my comics are all alphabetical and numeric order. So I've got them all. Oh, here, this is a key book. I've got 2 of them. Let me just show you some of these before I go. There was a rumor. Well, I won't even talk about it because I don't think it's going to come true now, but Madrox the Multiple Menace was rumored to be played by that actor. Oh, I have 3 of them. Holy cow. I have 3 of them. 3. I stocked up whenever I found it because there was a rumor this guy was going to show up in a movie played by the guy who played Harry Osborn in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. And he looked kind of like James Dean. I know it. I hate when I'm not prepared. Let me just look him up. He got into like a mini controversy. It temporarily halted his acting career, but I think he's back on track now. It was a sexual scandal. Who knows if it's true? Let me see here. James Franco. That's it. James Franco was supposed to play this guy, Madrak the Multiple Menace. And then all that got sidelined. Hopefully you're back on track. Look, hell yeah, I got 3. I didn't even know that. All right, so see, I can't tear myself away from the mic. It's a cool book. Fantasy Masterpieces from 1963 or 4. It's reprints of Golden Age books of monsters and aliens, and I just think that's cool art if you can see it. While I have this box out, oh God, this is the stuff Danny Staten would love because it's Golden Age Captain America. Now they're reprints, but they're from the World War II era, reprinted in the early 1960s and mid 1960s. About the mail aspect, Esmeralda says, my mail is so slow here, it'll be a week late. But thank you, Chance. You're always so good about sending prizes. Well, thank you, ma'am. I know it's slow. That's why I send it at the earliest opportunity. James Franco. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. Hello. Hello, Joe. Yo, Joe. And speaking of that, a real American hero, G.I. Joe is there. In this box, G.I. Joe #1, mint condition, 1982. Not the G.I. Joe like the tough G.I. Joe from the 60s, but this was the team, and I like the team. Yo, Joe! Real American hero. And this was like a very low distributed book. Had low distribution for years in the Overstreet price guide. They'd say, oh, low distribution, and they inflated the value of it. But I've got all of them. G.I. Joe. These are my G.I. Joes. Because we're in the box, alphabetical, Ghost Rider, G.I. Joe. And I'll show you this, Joe, just because you sparked my memory. This is rare. I bought this at Target. This is a treasury edition of G.I. Joe issue 1 from 1982. I got it at Target for $1.35, marked down from $1.50. Unfortunately, they put the sticker right on the book. So I could probably steam that off, but that's kind of rare. I don't think it's worth as much as the actual comic book, but I got that when I was 11 years old. Oh, geez. Yo, Joe! I'm just going to scan this box in case there's something before I sign off. Yeah, see, I have all the Godzillas, too, from 1977 through 1979. Danny Staten, I know he signed off, gone to bed. he would love the. We'll do it another time. Next time, I'm going to cover maybe in a year or 9 months from now. I'll cover Johnny Blaze and all the Ghost Riders, and I'll show my Western Ghost Riders and talk about. I'll be better prepared. I just whipped this together because I'm high on Pepsi, but had a sugar buzz. But there's Godzilla issue number 1. And number Deuce. And numeral 3. They're all here. They're all here. They're all here. Gru the Wanderer, a Mad Magazine character by the great Sergio Aragonés, who's friends with a friend of the show I've interviewed several times, James Tim Walker. And there's the final issue of Godzilla for Danny Staton on the replay, issue 24. You could tell that see the bag's getting wavy. I need to change it. You should change them every 5 years, 10 on the outside. And some of these bags have not been changed since 2016, so they're overdue. But see, they get a little wavy, and that means they're doing their job. They're absorbing the acid, the elements, the residual elements of the coloring process of old school comic books. Gru again. Funny character. Oh, Esmeralda, this girl reminds me of you. I have no idea what you look like. I know you're a redhead. This, I would imagine, is what you look like in other days. This is the Superboy TV show. And I meant to show you this. I was saving this for Saturday Night Boswell while you're here. Show you this. This may not look anything like you, just in my mind's eye, my fantasy. That's what you look like. All I know is you have red hair and you're from Georgia, and it's none of my business about anything else. But I think that's Esmeralda. I always think it's the only photo cover, and it was from the collection I bought last April. So I put it in a new bag in a board. And that show is very rare. It's by the Salkinds, the people that did the Chris Reeves Superman movies. They did Superboy in the late 80s, and they had 2 different actors playing the lead, actually. But that's another story for Gerard Christopher and Newton. Newton was the original actor who played Superboy. But I think of you. Actually, that is close. Sarah has a picture of me. Yeah, I don't want, I'm just, you're a mystery lady. I just think of you. And not in an inappropriate or creepy way. I just think that's Esmeralda. Right there. Hey. Oh God, you could see I'm wearing like this ridiculous shark. Oh God, I should have worn like normal pants. I'm wearing like, not really pajamas, but like shit kicker pants for just lounging around the house. Jeez Louise. That not attractive. All right, folks. Well, I guess that's all. Let me see if there's any video I can play before I sign off. Appreciate everybody being here. Appreciate the replay crew. Sure. Pepsi, you're high on Skittles, says Kevlar. I did. You know what? I had gummy Skittles. I had a little pack, like a little fun size pack. I have a sweet tooth, man. Luckily I have all my teeth, so they haven't claimed my teeth yet, but yeah, I appreciate everybody looking at my Ghost Rider Volume 2 collection. And next time I'll show the original, like Marvel Spotlight 5, the 7 issues that predates the Volume 2 Ghost Rider series. I'm scared now if he thinks of me as sexy. Oh, because I said, no, I am appropriate with all you ladies in the audience. Thank you, Chance. It was fun. Well, I appreciate you being here. I was hoping you'd pop in. It was all like on the fly. Going to play now my favorite Star Wars trailer, because I got away with it before. Hopefully the bots will let me get away with it now. This was really dramatic from 1977. It's the version where the music was put in. It was when all the post-production was done. Right now, the post-production is being handled on the new Superman movie, which will be exciting, but that's besides the point. I'm just really curious what kind of music and theme the new Superman movie released in July 2025 will have. They've already announced who's going to do the music, but I'm just curious how that will go, or if they'll have a little homage to the original music, or how that'll play out. We'll find out, next year. So I want to just play this for sentimental reasons, and then I'll say goodnight. Here we go.
20th Century Fox and George Lucas bring you an adventure unlike anything on your planet. Star Wars.
Stop that ship! Faster!
Oh my, I'd forgotten how much I hate space travel.
Here they come.
They're coming in too fast!
The story of a boy, a girl, and a universe.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
It's a big, sprawling space saga of rebellion and romance.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Come with you to Alderaan. There's nothing for me here now. I want to learn the ways of the Force and become a Jedi like my father.
It's a spectacle, light years ahead of its time. It's an epic of heroes.
Good luck! Hit the accelerator!
And villains. And aliens from 1,000 worlds.
Go that way. You'll be malfunctioning within a day, you nearsighted scrap pile.
Star Wars. 1 billion years in the making.
The Force will be with you. Always.
I love that trailer, and I have it on film, real film. And but mine shows an Oscar award sliding out when that explosion happened. So it says winner of 7 Academy Awards or something. It was like, I guess, for a re-release or something. But hey, I appreciate everybody being here. And I guess I'll play our little Last Dance Friday night deal, even though it's really Saturday by now. And we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, on Triple B Rain Bender's Banters channel. And I'm looking forward to football. Pro football's back. I'm going to be watching the Falcons versus the Steelers. And I'm not rooting for my home team. I hate to be a traitor. Not rooting for the Falcons. I'm a Steelers fan. I'm excited about that too. And that'll be this Sunday as we're live. I know a lot of folks don't really care about sports. I'm not like a huge sports fan, but I'm kind of thinking this could be a good year, hopefully, for the Steelers. We'll see. So we'll catch you next time here on the Nostalgic Podblast. Good night.